You're listening to Productivity Monsters in the Morning. We are the energy vault your real estate business needs to get you up and out and excited and productive for the day. We go over trending topics and things that really matter in the market of the moment. Here are your hosts, Tiffany Hampton and Brooke Silva. Good morning, Tiffany.
Good morning. Happy Friday. How are you?
Oh my God, Friday. Yes.
I
forgot what day of the week.
Yeah. And we are going to finish the week strong and talk about money and planning around it. Yay!
It is, and because we've said it before, we'll say it again, it's business planning clinic season, which is funny because if you think about it, it should always be business planning season for you when you're a business owner. It doesn't stop. It's not 1 week a year, 1 month a year. This is where everything comes to the surface, right? This is where you look at everything, and how you get organized can really help you in the process, whether you've been doing this a week or 3,000 years. So today we're talking about gross commission income, CGI, GCI, all those terms. Money. It's all
the most important part. We are in business for profit, and yet profit is important. And in order to get to profit, people come first.
They do.
And when I say people, you start with you, right? So what is the plan? And no matter, like you said, no matter where you are, we have to focus on, okay, based on where I desire to be and not wanting to have a negative mindset, what do I need to do to make sure everything is correct? And starting off with what is my life allocation form that we did at the beginning of the week, to now, okay, I know that number. Let's talk about GCI and how we figure that out.
And I know there are so many of our agents that sit down every day and they're overwhelmed by who to call or what lead gen is or how to run their business or how they're going to pay for things. And that's why we love these two forms so much, is because this is the GPS. This is, like we wouldn't go anywhere without typing in an address into Waze or Google Maps or whatever GPS you use. Man, in the 90s, I was printing out MapQuests when I didn't know where I was going. It's the same thing. We have to plug it in. This is if you don't know where you're going, you don't know where you want to go, your desired destination, it's as silly as thinking about it as that. It's that simple. Plug it in. You know where you want to go. You know what you want to make. By doing the life allocation form, we have figured out what your desires be so you can fund that big life. So now these are the steps you take. And while simple, not always easy, especially if you come from the mindset of scarcity. So I love today's affirmation.
Yes, I am worthy of the wealth I desire.
Say it again.
I am worthy of the wealth I desire.
Huge, because everybody thinks you have to have wealth to think about wealth or to plan for more wealth, which is, you couldn't be further from the truth. Wealth, wealth starts with saving $1, 50 cents, or making one change to how we do things. So today, let's talk about why gross commission income isn't actually gross. Like, you hear the word gross and you think yucky, and this is not yucky. Gross commission income, it's the total amount of dollars the agent receives from a closing before expenses and fees. So this is the top number you're putting in there. Then everything else comes out after that. But let's explain why GCI is so important to our agents and why knowing this number is going to really set some clear guidelines for them.
As a coach, I always ask, okay, what is the desired income, especially when they're first starting out? And you know what the number I normally hear is?
100,000?
100,000, 60,000, right? They just pull it out of the air.
Yeah.
And yet by doing the life allocation form, many of our listeners found out that 60,000 or 100,000 isn't a real number.
No.
Right. So that gross commission income, that includes what you need to use to pay your bills, all of that life by design, your taxes, your
Yep.
business expenses, your cost of sale expenses. So that is the total gross commission income. It's just not some arbitrary number that we throw out and say, ah, this is a good number. Let me make it happen.
And when they're saying that, when we speak to new agents, it's amazing how they don't have many don't. Until I came to KW, even I truly didn't have a grasp on personal budget at the house. We just paid our bills every month, and there was no accounting for things or wealth building. So using things like the life allocation form and GCI has even helped me in my home life, making sure everybody knows where the money's going, where it's coming in from, and where we have to save or open CDs or savings accounts and do different things or be able to invest. So this is across the board. This is not just your business.
Mm-hmm. Right. And
let's talk about that doc too after. Let's make sure we bring up the doc.
Yeah. So when we're looking at the numbers, there's some information we need to pull up.
Okay.
So we need to pull up, what is the average sale price in your area? Now, if you're a newer agent and you don't have your personal average sale price, ask somebody in the office, hey, what's the company's average sale price? We also need to know, what is the average commission amount? And we need to know what the taxes are. We need to know operating expenses. We need to know how much of our business is from sellers and how much of our business is from buyers.
And we have reports that say that. We have reports here at KW that show you sides, right? So if you've never pulled these reports, speak to somebody on leadership in the office or another agent who's been doing this a long time, and they'll show you where to get those reports and how to pull them, because all the data is there. It's just a matter of pulling those reports.
Absolutely. So once you have all that information, then it's just plug and play.
Yeah.
Should I share the form?
Let's just show them real quick. So if people are on the road, we'll talk them through it if they're not actually watching. So that way they can see exactly what it looks like.
And then we'll obviously include this in the show notes.
Yeah, so a link to this will be in the show notes. It will ask you to make a copy of it, so that way you don't see anybody else's numbers. They don't see yours for this, and it's just for you to plug numbers into.
Right. And let's just start with, let's just say newer agent, our goal is $100,000 GCI, right?
Yep.
So the minute we do that, what ends up happening is all the other numbers populate out, right? So they, talk to your accountant and find out what your tax bracket is. For the sake of this, we use 28%, which means that almost $40,000 in taxes will need to be paid before expenses. So our mission and our goal is to make sure that you know exactly what your numbers are, what your cap is, what your royalty, what your operating expenses are. And then that way, you know what the gross commission income needs to be. After you do that, you go in, you figure out, is half your business from sellers and half your business from buyers? Is it 40% sellers, 60% buyers? How many weeks are you going to work? What's the average commission in the area? What's the average sale price? Once you know all that data, then you fill this out. And the cool thing about this document, it actually tells you how many appointments every single week you go on.
That's incredible. So basically, I find out my Life by Design number. Right. Yes. I figure out that life allocation form. I plug that number in there, and there's my blueprint and our mapping. And some of those numbers may seem aggressive or intense, but when we come in, it's why we say to you guys, make sure you have a separate checking and savings ready to go, right? You and I both enjoy the book Profit First and use a lot of the information, and we will link that book in. But basically, Mike Michalowicz, the author, talks about how to pay yourself and cover everything you need to in a way that is also hysterical. The man, we've seen him live. He is so funny and regular and normal. Like, you talk to him at a bar. He's incredible. So Profit First to increase But I think too, once you look at those numbers, we're able to help you build now your GPS out. If I want to hit this in a year, what do I have to do quarterly, monthly, and then break it down into the steps that do it? And the education I need to get there, or the coaching, right? The things you need to do.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, you have to have a plan, but like your GPS, you have to know where you're going before you can plan the route. Hence the reason why our 135 back in the day, the name has changed to GPS, because it's goals and it's priorities and it's strategies. And over the course of the weeks, we're going to dive into this just to support you. And this is always available at your market centers.
Absolutely. And if you're Keller Williams, you can go to kwconnect.com and log in with your KW Cloud credentials, and you can access many video recordings of how other people do this, how top mega agents are doing these, how teams are doing them, and reach out to us. If you need help with this, we're here to support you and get this going. Because you deserve the wealth you desire. I love that affirmation today. Put that one on an alarm on your phone. So now let's get to our tech action, our coaching tech action, which is fill it out. And here's the thing. If you're nervous, go start with a generic number, right? Dream big. We've talked about having big goals and big whys and big dreams. If the first thing you do is plug in $250,000, you're going to see how obtainable it is and the actions you need to take. So you will be able to get that spreadsheet, go right to that tab, and just plug in 250,000. Then work with someone, business planning clinic, all these different places, and back into your desired wealth goal. And
then what I love about it is, here's the deal. You start with this big, hairy, audacious goal of $250,000. Right. Mm-hmm. And then it downloads to, okay, for that $250,000, you have to go on whatever it is, 2, 3, 4 appointments based on whatever your numbers are for your area a week. Right. And that equivalates to, well, in order to do that, I need to talk to 2,000 people a year. Now break that 2,000 down to 12 months, then break it down to 4 weeks, then break it down. Everything is attainable in small bites. You start with the small domino, and then you eventually reach up. So don't let it overwhelm you. Baby step it.
Baby step it. And that's why we love giving you tools like this that have all the calculations done, that you're able to go in, put a few numbers in, grab a few numbers from your MLS. And again, if you don't know how to pull those numbers, or you don't have those averages for yourself yet, work with somebody in your market center who knows how to pull those. And because it's different for every MLS and every board and everything. So work with them, grab those numbers, plug them in, and just see how obtainable that goal actually is.
Yeah. And I have to go back to our previous episodes where we were talking about soundtracks and chatter. Don't let the chatter in your brain tell you anything other than this is obtainable and that you are worthy of the wealth you desire. Period.
Wow. What a way to end today's episode.
Absolutely. If you need anything, reach out. Our contact information are in the notes.
All right. Thanks for watching and listening to Productivity Monsters in the Morning. We're so glad you joined us today. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.